Hello there, SERAPHIM17 once again. This is my Kingdom Hearts 2 Critical Difficulty video walkthrough. We're about to head off into Timeless River, but before we can do that we have to talk to a couple of the guys over in Hollow Bastion, and once again the game warps us back to where we need to be so we can hit this door and we can go into Cornerstone Hill. I've already explained in previous videos that the way that this game kind of signposts where you're meant to go next is generally in the cutscenes, and because I'm trimming them out because this is a walkthrough, a lot of that context is lost, so some of the jumps might be a little bit jarring, but hopefully if you're playing you know where to go anyway. It's just the nuance of the in-between that you're getting stuck or you're struggling with. So as far as walkthroughs go, this one is probably one of the more time-consuming ones I've ever made. And it has nothing to do with difficulty or the game itself. It's to do with how the architecture works. And what I mean by this is how the hardware presents the game to us, which of course is with lots of loading screens, and I'm trimming a lot of them out as best I can. And it happens between every single stage transition, every single cutscene transition, so it makes it really cut up, and you'd be surprised how long those little alterations take to do, especially if you're trying to get them as accurate as possible so that they don't look too jumpy. Because we can't all use, jump cuts abandoned like they do in those popular video logs that people make on YouTube. Because where that's a stylistic choice to kind of make it a little bit more interesting because all you're doing is staring at some guy's face, here it doesn't really work so well. Kind of just looks like shit was missed. But all we need to do in this place is go through those doors that were in front of us just then. Each of them is going to be presenting us with a situation. We have to overcome it, and once we've overcome all of them, we can move onwards to the Pete boss fight. Nothing too tricky here. You'll notice from the original game that they've changed some features of this place, along with a newly done piece of music, which is most of the game, in fact. The sound effects are also different too. They're even more muffled than they were before. And if you wonder why the audio sounds so muffled and weird, it's completely intentional. It is a stylistic choice to give it the illusion of being from the time period that this, the Timeless River section was from, when the origins of Mickey, which, I'm not going to say the date because it's early as piss and I'm going to get it wrong, but they're trying to pay homage to that, and it's a little bit jarring because every so often you hear a sound effect that isn't muffled and you're like, hang on. But this sequence here, just combo your way through the hordes of these screwdriver people. And if you ever get knocked into the air, sometimes you get a command to do a very powerful reaction command. There it is, air slash, very, very powerful technique. Don't worry about losing too much life during those sequences. When it puts you back into Cornerstone, you will have a full HP bar, as you just witnessed then. And it's just kind of repeat ad nauseum. So I'm going to be talking about Kingdom Hearts, guys, because it's the Kingdom Hearts season at the moment. This is a Christmas full of Kingdom Hearts, and I've just finished recording everything I need to record on Birth by Sleep. As far as main projects go, I haven't done any optional bosses or secret stuff or any smaller videos that I have planned, but project-wise for walkthroughs, I'm covered. And it's a pretty good feeling because it's taken a lot longer than I expected. It's taken quite a long time to record all 3 campaigns, then the final episode that you unlock then, and then the secret episode that you unlock afterwards. And anybody wondering who's trying to get the platinum for these titles, in order to get the achievement for beating Birth by Sleep on Critical, you have to do all of those things I mentioned. You can't just beat one campaign and get your trophy, you have to do everything. And you're looking at 50 hours easily to do all those things. And that's when you're kind of rushing through them, because Critical mode is pretty challenging in some fights. It's not too bad, and you can always level your way, past the difficulties should you choose to. However, that's just going to add on time, so that 50-hour estimate is probably going to be much more if you do that. Unless you know the game off by heart, and then you can probably do it very quickly. This fight right now, the cars are one of the trickiest enemies in this game, because they have moves that will chain hit you, like a lot of enemies do, and if they start doing those chain hit moves, you can die very quickly. So a good way to fight them is to wait for them to attack and then guard them to get the stun and then counterpunch them. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work too well. That's the joy of Kingdom Hearts 2. A lot of things can be overcome by just being aggressive. Certain situations that will bite you in the ass, but for the most, there's nothing too crazy here. something I do need to try and explain, which is something I didn't know until I got to the end of this walkthrough, was that magic counts as a critical hit. So if you ever have an enemy that has, or a boss, sorry, that has no life left, and you're trying to do a big combo to finish him off and you're getting frustrated, if you just do magic, you'll kill him. And it works wonders, and there's a couple of fights coming up where I do full combos on bosses when they have no life bars to get to the critical hit, and sometimes I get hit during them. And it's a very frustrating experience, as this car is just wrecking my entire team. But we got him, we get the subsequent heal, and Ducky gets to stand up again. Which, I've been trying to think of some interesting nicknames for Donald and Goofy, and I just can't come up with many. There just really isn't anything to call them. They're literally Donald and Goofy, and it serves its purpose perfectly. So this fight here, pretty simple stuff. There's a vortex in the middle, it's dragging you towards it, it's dragging the enemies towards it. You want to beat it up, because it's got a good old lock-on point, and when it shuts, you're pretty much done. But in a past episode, I misspoke, and I ended up going on a tangent, which had good intentions but confused a lot of people, and I should probably clear it up while I have a moment here. And it was in regards to me mentioning that Kingdom Hearts had been developed for 10 years, and that is not true, guys. It was just me misspeaking. What I was meaning to talk about is how we've been waiting for it for 10 years. The earliest I know of Kingdom Hearts having any work done on it was in 2010 when Tetsuya Nomura was an interview in an edition of Games Master that I have, where he was talking about early concepts for the game and certain things that he wanted to do, but they weren't just ready at that moment in time to announce anything. And Square Enix was really busy, so there was a few bits and bobs, but they said that they would be making announcements, and alas, I don't think they ever came. I think it was one of those things where they got focused on other things. But in my tangent, I didn't really explain it as well as I could have, and thus confusion has gone forward. But the moral of what I was trying to say was waiting 10 years for any game is a scary prospect, because they're generally never good. But then I realised that we haven't been waiting that long for another Kingdom Hearts, because there's been a lot of different Kingdom Hearts, and if you look into the development periods of them, you'll notice that they were handled by different teams and overlooked by Tetsuya Nomura, but at the same time they've always kind of been pretty damn good, so it's not a case of blaming a B team or anything like that, because the games have always, you know, shone, because I think Kingdom Hearts is one of those licenses that does really, really well. And now that we know that the game is definitely in production, and that it's had a change from their engine to the Unreal Engine, which I'm a little bit scared about, it's really exciting times. This boss fight here is pretty simple stuff, that's why I didn't segregate it. It doesn't have a boss bar either, so that's another reason for that. But that's what I was trying to say, didn't come out that way. That's generally how commentary works. You come in with the best intentions to say something, and then you get distracted and a tangent starts, and boom, you're somewhere else. But there it goes. Get a nice bonus, dodge slash, which I'm not entirely too sure what that one is. A lot of the commands that happen passively on this game, I wish you could control them. That's one of my biggest wishes for Kingdom Hearts 3. There it is. Unleashes an attack that deals damage to a nearby enemy. Like, what does that even fucking mean? And how does it have a dodge in it? Like, there's no command to do it. There's no, you know, input. It's just Sora will decide to do it automatically for you, so you don't have to worry about it. And to me, that's the worst part of Kingdom Hearts in a nutshell. It's the fact that they've got this super accessible system that you can only really control in certain ways, and I strive for complete control, so I would love to be able to make Sora do what I want him to do, and it'd be nice if those passive abilities were inputs. Like, imagine if the, you know, sliding attack that you get as Sora to cover distance was just forward and attack rather than attack, so you could make that input happen instead of trying to do it and mistiming the distance and then not getting it. It'd alleviate a lot of problems. Of course, you'd get that attack a lot if you're a masher, but, you know, that's always kind of been the mentality of punishing mashing buttons, isn't it? You get the attacks you don't want, and you get trapped for them or punished. But thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. You take care now.